Boone and Crockett Country, presented by Loophole.
Regardless of the activity, man has always been fascinated with the best of the best. Whether it's who serves the best steak in town, who is the best quarterback of all time, or where is the best place to go on a family vacation. In big game hunting, best can be defined in many ways. The best could be one area that has the highest density of a particular species. An area that offers a true wilderness experience can describe the best for some. Best could also be a location that is easy to access and a great place to take a young hunter. Sometimes best can also be about real trophy opportunity. For as long as the Boone and Crockett Club has been maintaining trophy records, these data have been used for everything from the science of wildlife management to fueling campfire discussions as to which area or hunt is the best for a particular species. Truth is, definitive answers are near impossible to come by. Everyone has their own idea of what is best, and we are blessed with numerous special places where habitat, age, genetics, and proper management have all converged to build the reputations of true trophy destinations. Regardless, as a society, we are convinced that there has to be a best for everything. For trophy elk hunting today, that best has to be Arizona's White Mountain Apache Indian Reservation. For a typical American elk to qualify as a Boone and Crockett trophy, the minimum entry score is 360 points B and C. This is the top-end elk for most places in North America. On White Mountain, it is a starting point. White Mountain is one of over 500 tribal reservations in the lower 48 states. It consists of 1.67 million acres and ranges in elevation from 2,600 feet to the top of Mount Baldy, sitting at 11,400 feet. By the early 1900s, elk were completely gone from White Mountain due to overharvesting. The elk hunted today are descendants of a core herd of Yellowstone elk that were reintroduced in 1910. There are 5 divisions that manage the tribal enterprises on White Mountain, including Wildlife and Outdoor Recreation, which has managed the tribe's trophy elk hunting program since its inception in 1976. To date, Boone and Crockett All-Time Records Book data lists over 100 American elk bulls from White Mountain, with 28 bulls listed in Pope & Young's archery records. This is an unprecedented number of entries, greater than that of any other comparably sized land management area in North America. Wayne Farnsworth is a bow hunter with a passion for trophy elk. His personal career success allows him the opportunity to selectively plan his hunting, to follow the trends as to which areas have the best odds for the chance at a record-class bull near 400 inches. Farnsworth has been fortunate to experience for himself the phenomenon that is White Mountain elk hunting. This past season marked his 7th trip to central Arizona in pursuit of a bull most can only dream of. His guide for this hunt will be Travis Tise. To even get on the waiting list of those wanting to hunt these hallowed grounds of elk hunting is a process. When your name does come up, it is not the place where just any bull will do.
I couldn't really see the eye cars on it, but with the frame, that might be around 340 or so.
Yeah, so I was guessing around 340.
Yeah.
That was a good hunt.
Had our first morning hunt here. This morning we had 2 bulls in close today. One was a 7x7 small bull, scored maybe 340. And then we went after several other bulls that were bugling, and we got a look at a 7x6 that came in within 10 yards. and we tried to get on a bull that was had 3 or 5 cows with it. That was about a 360 to 370 bull. But when we tried to slip in on them, the couple cows I didn't see saw me first, and they took off and took the bull away, so I can hardly wait for this evening's hunt.
Boone and Crockett Country is in partnership with the Wild Sheep Foundation, putting and keeping sheep on the mountain. Remington Arms and Ammunition, welcome to Remington Country. And the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation and ethical hunting worldwide.
By definition, a reservation is an area of land managed by a Native American tribe under the United States Department of the Interior's Bureau of Indian Affairs. In the U.S., there are more than 564 federally recognized Indian tribes, of which 330 have dedicated tribal lands. The name reservation comes from the conception of the Indian tribes as independent sovereigns at the time the U.S. Constitution was ratified. Thus, the early peace treaties, often signed under duress, in which native tribes surrendered large portions of land to the U.S., also designated parcels which the tribes, as sovereigns, reserved to themselves, and those parcels came to be called reservations. What tribal lands mean to sportsmen is the opportunity to hunt, fish, and recreate on lands under a unique system of management. For those tribes making a conscious effort to maximize the natural resources under their control, the results can be a remarkable example of what is possible.
As land and wildlife managers, tribal nations have a huge advantage in getting done what science says needs to be done to accomplish a certain objective. The logjam of politics and varying opinions on how resources should be managed, as we have on public lands, does not exist on tribal lands managed by a small but united group of tribal leaders who know the land, know the wildlife, and know the people better than anyone.
Days on White Mountain are spent a bit differently than one might encounter on other elk hunts. The elk herd here is age and bull to cow balanced to the optimum. And other than cow and management bull hunts, all trophy bull hunts are done only during the rut. This gives guides and hunters the best opportunity to see as many of the older age class bulls as possible, ensuring the right bulls are taken according to the tribe's age structure management plan. Under these conditions, and during the rut, it is not a matter of getting a bull within bow range, but getting the right bull. It also means that there is no shortage of excitement, as multiple close encounters with bulls on the same day are common.
I think he's on a tree line in that brush over there, so we should be all right coming around this way. Let's keep going. Okay. Let him go. When he stopped right there, he couldn't shoot because there was a limb right there in the way. And he was too small anyway. He's not as big. He's not as big as we thought he was.
A good question now is, what makes White Mountain so special? As tribal outfitter and game manager John Cade explains, the keys to trophy elk anywhere are habitat, age, and genetics.
There's really 3 factors that go into growing huge elk. One is genetics, and obviously we have very, very good genetics. Then the second factor is habitat, and as you can see, we have tremendous habitat. We have some of the best habitat in the country for antler growth. We have very mild winters. We have quite a bit of rain usually in the summer, and it all adds up to great antler growth. The third factor that always occurs, and sometimes people don't think about, is age. For an animal to reach its peak antler growth, he has to attain 9.5, 10.5 years old. That's when they peak in the very top of their antler growth.
Nutrition, age, and genetics is the tripod that supports large antlers in elk. With good elk habitat, managing for top trophy bulls is not difficult from a technical level. You simply control the harvest to extremely low levels, and it allows a lot of bulls to reach those older age classes. Genetics is perhaps talked about the most, but the least influential. Certainly genetic potential for antler size is a factor, and it is inherited, but its effects are difficult to separate from the other factors and probably impossible to manage in a free-ranging elk herd. The same reasons that make it nearly impossible for hunters to negatively affect the gene pool make it nearly impossible for managers to positively affect the gene pool.
From White Mountain, the average age of bulls making Boone and Crockett is 11.5 years old, with one bull aged at 21 years. With a harvest of less than one trophy bull for every 17 square miles of prime elk habitat, it is easy to see why White Mountain is so special.
Optical Insights presented by Loophole, America's Optics Authority.
Laser rangefinders are becoming as common in hunting camps as the stories of the one that got away. Hi, I'm Tim Lesser. It's important to know that there are a lot of things that can affect the performance of a rangefinder in the field. Though all rangefinders are different, the basic idea remains the same. A series of invisible energy pulses are emitted from the rangefinder, reflected off of the target, and back to the rangefinder. Distance is determined by timing how long it takes these pulses to return. The bright light interferes with these pulses in much the same way that it interferes with the beam from a standard laser pointer. You can see the red dot from one of these much farther away in low light than you can in brighter light. You can also see the dot much better on a lighter target than a dark target. Rangefinders work the same way. You will register longer distances in low light and from lighter colored targets. And don't forget, those pulses are being reflected back to the rangefinder. So the steadier you can hold the rangefinder, the longer the distances you'll be able to register.
Optical Insights has been brought to you by Loophole, America's Optics Authority. Boone and Crockett Country is in partnership with Buck Knives, knives that fit your life, and the Pope and Young Club, for the good of bow hunting.
Regardless, in elk hunting anywhere, even on White Mountain, elk are elk, and there are no gimmies. Farnsworth and Tisay worked through setup after setup trying to close the deal on the right bull. One 7x7 bull in particular that they worked was estimated to score over 370.
Bull this morning, he had about 8 cows with him, but this satellite bull came in within 40 yards of us. We waited for him to get behind us. We tried to move in on the bull, but the cows took the bull off, so we're going to try to come up around to get the wind in our favor and put another stock on him. That bull that we were watching earlier when that 5-point came up beside us, the cows and him moved down this ridge here, and we can see the cows over here on the side. The bull was almost in the bottom, about 10 yards, and he went around the point. The cows are starting to move over with him. We're trying to make a plan and figure out what would be the best way to try to sneak in on this bull. It's going to be difficult because this wind's shifting around with the sun heating it up. Plus you got those 8 cows down there with him, and we're trying to decide what our best plan of attack is, because this is the biggest bull that we've seen in our 7-day hunt.
We spotted a bull over there on this other ridge, about 220 yards away. We got back up the hill, came down the other side, and we came through a gorge. A thick jungle is what it was. We could see where they'd been bedding in there a lot. We side-hilled all the way around. We got within 72 yards of this thing. But there was cows all around watching us, and we were kind of stuck where we were. And when he mounted the cow away from us, we got up and moved, knowing that we were going to bust up the other cows, but we thought he'd be preoccupied, and he was. But the problem is, once he got off the cow, she took off and went down over the hill, caught up with the other cows that they saw running. The bull, of course, followed his hot cow. The problem is, you can't even get that close and call a big, healthy, mature bull away from a hot cow that he's breeding. No matter if there's 20 cows there calling for him, he's not going to leave that hot cow. It was just a tough hunt, but that's what it's all about. You don't get everything or kill everything that you attempt to go after, and that's what bow hunting's all about, is the experience and the thrill.
With such a special place for large antlered bulls like White Mountain obtainable, a good question is, can this program be duplicated elsewhere?
Certainly what the White Mountain Apache tribe has been able to accomplish with its elk management program can be duplicated in similar habitats. But we have to keep in mind that this incredible system of wildlife conservation that we have has its foundation in giving everybody the opportunity to get out in the woods and hunt. Adopting this trophy bull age class management paradigm statewide would mean about 90% of this year's elk hunters would have to stay home. What some western states can and are doing is to provide certain areas with different management goals, so the hunter has a choice to apply and wait to draw a tag in an area managed for older bulls and a lower hunter density.
7 days on an elk hunt can be taxing, but 7 days in bulls can go by quickly. Finally, an opportunity did present itself.
He's down. Oh my God, that was awesome.
That was great calling, man. Thanks a lot. He's a nice bull. I didn't see that right side. Oh man. Big bull.
Well, Wayne, this is a great kill here. We just helped our elk population here on the White Mountain Apache Indian Reservation. This year is classified as a cull bull. The way it's classified as a cull bull is that one side of the beam could be normal, just like you see here. This one's got 6, and one side could be palmated, just like what we got here. We do encourage hunters here in our trophy hunt program to take out cull bulls similar as what we did here. When a hunter takes out the cull bull or kills a cull bull, it doesn't necessarily hurt his trophy hunt. So we got a kill here, then naturally you can continue
still
to
get to hunt a big 400-point bull.
We can still kill that 400 bull maybe 10 minutes from now.
I didn't have time to ask you that when you encouraged me to take this bull, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we continue our hunt. Our hunt doesn't end, so we did good taking this out of the elk herd.
Well, thanks
It'll
again.
help our program. Yeah.
It'll be good eating too.
Farnsworth is a seasoned bow hunter. With time running out, a bull, what the tribe would consider a management bull, was a fitting end to a successful hunt. It may be hard to comprehend a bull grossing over 360 as being a management bull, but again, this is White Mountain Apache.
Boone and Crockett Country has been brought to you by Leupold, America's Optics Authority, and the Boone and Crockett Club, fair chase and conservation since 1887.
Tribal nations like the White Mountain Apache may have had a rough road, and prospering in the modern era is not without its challenges. But one thing is clear. When it comes to natural resource management, they do have a working model we can all learn from. Whether the goal is opportunity for the masses or a once-in-a-lifetime chance for a truly outstanding animal, nature has set the table. All we need do is define goals and let those professionals do what they do best: manage habitat and wildlife, and avoid turning the use of our natural resources into a political football. While tribal lands may have the advantage of running their own programs, their conscious efforts do not exclude good outside help. As John Cade explains, it is welcomed help.
I'm on the board of directors of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I've been on their board for 4 years now. The Elk Foundation has done quite a bit for us the last few years with a lot of our management, funding some management programs and helping us with a few things that we need to do for law enforcement and a few other things. The Elk Foundation is a tremendous asset for any tribe or actually any organization that wants to do management for elk. They're really into the habitat and helping wildlife.
Can there be but one best quarterback of all time, or a best place to hunt a particular species? Depends on our own idea of what defines best. Such questions may be just better off left unanswered.
Closed captioning provided by the Dallas Safari Club, promoting conservation and ethical hunting worldwide.